Hello and welcome everybody. Welcome to what is the 5th of July 2024. And what a kind of, look at my hair, it's all kind of staticky. I've just been outside, sorry. This quite phenomenal time really, which you will all be aware of, but it's picked up, it's quite different, the energy that we're experiencing this month. In July, it feels different, it feels lighter, there's less density in it, there's more impact though on us and our bodies in this transitional time that we are in. It's bringing us through a whole lot of processes to speed up, I want to say, and deepen both our purification and our alchemization. So yeah, I am here with notes from the last few days, and thank you so much for joining me here. I really, I always feel very privileged that you take time out to come and spend time here with me. Yes, so hi Rebecca, I just did see your message just as I was coming on here, so I'll attend to it afterwards. So yeah, let me bring to you, it's been like we really are in this whole like the deepest of the deep in terms of our purification and the highest of the high in terms of what we're bringing in. But this high energy, this high frequency, this faster vibration is enabling us to purify at a deeper level. So that's, I guess that's the main gist of it really. And while I remember, do have a look, do consider whether you are going to take part in this Becoming the God Goddess course that is starting at the end of this month, and there are still places available. And today I did some channeling with Gaia about a whole lot of it, which I'm really excited about. So pretty interesting ideas and constructs coming through from Gaia about this course. So I'm going to be doing more channeling in terms of notes and processes about what we will do on this course. But you will know, if you follow me, that I have been speaking of this, that we are in this time where we are returning to our original forms and accessing some of our higher abilities. And this return to the God Goddess is a course that I've been guided to write and run to really support that as we come back to ourselves, this integration, these higher gifts and qualities, because we're shifting out of this very different world. We're moving into our paradisical aspects, and with that, these higher codes and higher information and higher gifts that we each hold. And so that's what that course is designed to do, to assist us to be accessing those and bringing them in and integrating them. So yeah, the link to that is in the description underneath the video. So that these are my notes from the 3rd, and you'll remember I wrote about on the 2nd how I wrote that post about how we're coming into greater clarity and deeper truth, this ability to see things more clearly with this very strengthening emotional body, that that whole notion of the compass. And the compass, this true north, this realignment to where we're meant to be going, it's having a very big impact on us, on the decisions that we make, and on the options that will become available as we attune more and more to that. So yeah, these notes on the 3rd began with, are you attuning to yourself, your heart's desires, your long-held dreams? We are in deep cellular purification and spiritual cleansing, as well as integration of our new operating systems. And that's the challenge. We don't have a manual for those. No one has ever done this before, which is why this idea of, walking hand in hand, arm in arm, doing some of this stuff together, some of this integration, some of this higher alignment is a useful way to navigate, because it's brand spanking new. Yeah, so I wrote in here, because there are sort of notes and arrows everywhere here. Oh, hello, everyone else. Hello, Deb Boyle. Hello, Sephora. Hello, Charlotte. Hello, Sally. Hello, Larissa. Hello, Deb again, and Berit. Hello from Norway. Yeah, so I wrote in here, we really can get better. We can get better at being okay with everyone, everything, and be in this exception that even though we cannot see it, know it, or understand it at this point, that it is all unfolding perfectly. And a lot of us are being challenged in lots of different ways around that, because we're navigating the new. Yeah, so we're in this kind of, well, one of the analogies that I got shown today that I just see, I wrote a little note with an arrow in here, is to imagine that what is happening for everybody is that you are in a car with tinted windows and the people on the outside can't see you. So I went to meet a friend last night and we were going for a walk in the bush at sunset, and they didn't see that I was sitting in my car. They saw my car, and it wasn't until I wound my window down and called out, and they said, "Oh, I didn't see you in there because you've got tinted windows." And so that's kind of what's happening for a lot of people. They are winding their windows down, or someone else is winding them down for them, so that they can see what is real and what is true. And so we are in this time of this massive, massive revealing. It's kind of this continuing cycle, but it's bigger, faster, deeper, and more meaningful, and it's gaining speed and gaining clarity. So this idea of more of the truth being revealed, that's the tinted windows coming down. And then this separation from the old. So we're beginning to have greater recognition of, oh no, that's not what I do anymore. That's not how I am. That's not how I behave. That's not what's important to me. I'm doing it differently now. So these old systems, these old structures, they're showing up as having lack for a start. They're showing up as not serving us. They're showing up as being dysfunctional or not people friendly. And so these are all of the beliefs. So they might be they're definitely in these sort of corporations and institutions, but right down to the smaller things of, well, I don't believe that anymore. That's not my understanding anymore. I've got different beliefs about where I think I'm from and what I'm here to do. And it's all kind of a little bit up in the air on a lot of different levels. So everyone perhaps in a different place with that. So some people in the discombobulation in terms of their work and purpose, and some people feeling that they're not living in the right place, and some people feeling that there are places that they need to visit. And this, especially right now, this almost extreme's a bit of a radical word to use, except that it's becoming that, this extreme disconnection, this extreme severance, and the separation from the old. So I want to say to you that this is, this disconnection of the old systems, the old structures, the separation of the mental mind as being the driver the car, the driver of where we're going. And also, perhaps some spiritual beliefs that we've had that will be regurgitated and looked at in a new way. But that the key is to rest deeply, I want to say, deeply in yourself, in your own authenticity. What is right for me? Not what's right for the person next to me. What is right for me? What is deep and true and clear and authentic for me? What do I need to do to be authentic here? Because it's in that authenticity that we will be guided more clearly. So this being guided by your heart and by your soul, by your mission, and this knowing that we're in transition. It's really like being the long jumper, having left the ground, but still in midair. There's that sensation at the moment. And so this is both us as beings, as well as the planetary body, because I want to say we are about to be fully in this alchemizing nature of the sacred gateway of the 7-7 portal. That's how it shows up to me, the sacred gateway of alchemization, and moving towards what was shown to me as the creation gateway that we come into on the 8th of the 8th. And then, the 11-11 gateway, it always shows up to me as the gateways of illumination, or the gateways of ascension, or the gateways of the up-levelment to the next strata. So we're in transition, and we're moving through the alchemizing gateway, which is on the 7th, and then into the creation gateway on the 8th of the 8th. We are tangibly, that's also known as the Lion's Gate. And so this year, the Lion's Gate, this year, the Lion's Gate is an 8-day in the 8th month in an 8-year. So it's super massive. And for me personally, the Lion's Gate's always been this huge, I guess, higher awakening. It's often been a time for me where I don't sleep for days. Yeah, so I'm inviting you really to be checking in with yourself in a very physical way. What is my body doing? How is it feeling? Where is it feeling it? What does it need? And to be breathing into those spaces, because what is really, I want to say, fundamentally crucial at this time is to be releasing things. So whatever comes up that needs to be released, find a way to move it out. And because I feel we're kind of on the ends of that. Well, not everybody will be, but I think a lot of us are on the ends of that release. So this energy that's come in, it's that old oxymoron and that paradox we've been speaking about. Going higher in order to go deeper, going into this newer in order to go into the older. But it's the release. It's not just the gifts that is also occurring, but it's the release of what tethers us to the old, to this, not the 3-dimension and the 3rd dimension in terms of it being tangible and, touchable, but the way in which that we've been entangled and held in this 3-dimensional matrix, if you like, this operating system that's really held us tethered down. So yeah, more of us will be now living from the heart, and more will be beginning to live from the heart. This being less attached to the old ways of thinking and the mental conditions and the programs on which we all made decisions in the past, the pros and cons. That, I want to say, is perhaps an old way of thinking and processing now. We're more likely, and I'm not saying that we're doing this 100% yet, but we're more likely, we're trending towards attuning to the signals that our body is giving us, the the flutters of the heart, the whoosh of an energy that rushes through. And yeah, I called it, when I wrote in here, I wrote it this somatic conversation with the divine intelligence of your body. This is what each of us is doing, is having this conversation with our somatic body, with our physical body, with our energetic body, that conversation with our divine intelligence for guidance. What now? What next? And that is in relation to healing any existing or leftover wounding. And this is all in the assistance for us to move, from this carbon-based molecular system and structure into the crystalline. So yeah, it's about looking at, feeling at, what's here for me, and how do I do this with love and from a place of love, and what do I need to do to love myself more wholly, more deeply, more purposefully. So yeah, this all of that I've just spoken about, I want to say has and is having a very profound impact on the collective of the divine counterparts. But I may leave that for now. I'll see. We'll see how we go. And then yesterday's notes was interesting. It was like another new place yesterday, like another shift from the day before. I wrote, today there is clarity and stillness and a sense of having moved through, but not yet out. That was how it felt. However, this brings a sense of the new and lighter, more hopeful and more optimistic. And if you live in New Zealand, you'll and you have television. Well, I don't, but I've seen this at the ad with the men dressed up as boys in the back of the car with "Are we there yet?" And it was that came to mind as I was writing that. So perhaps "Are we there yet?" is having a quieter tone as we rest back into deeper trust. There's certainly the sense of that, I want to say, that the leading edge of consciousness collective is in this place where we can rest in the knowing that it is unfolding, that we're not in this static place, that we're in this huge movement, and that it is perfectly timed. And the thing that came to me, I think, probably all of last month, which I haven't spoken about so much, and it's hard to even define, but it's this real sense that what we are doing here is just so much bigger than I ever have realized. It's huge. Everything that we're doing, not just this ascension in the self, but what we're moving in terms of the human collective and in terms of the planet. Yeah, so I'll just reread that so you can think about it. Perhaps, "Are we there yet?" is having a quieter tone as you rest back into deeper trust. So let me know how that sits with you. And perhaps you have come to a profound knowing that we are both witnessing and amid a cosmic event, and a big one, on a scale that changes everything. And I don't mean that in any small way. This new light is here, peeking through with its golden light, illuminating all on the surface of the earth now for all to see and be seen. So that's back to the rolling down the tinted window. So everybody is beginning to see things. That's smacking people in the face in terms of information that is coming out, and a sense of disturbance for many in the field, if you like, a sense of not quite knowing what's happening, but feeling a bit wobbly. And that is raising things for people that makes them feel unsure, uncertain. And as you know, we've been speaking about for a while, this month being strongly felt and probably displayed as anger. And certainly that sort of whole anxiety. So for some, this will feel like suspended animation. They are a bit stupefied as to what is really going on. For others, anxiety, mild to manic. So just think about the people in your life and who might sit where. Mild to manic, as they recognize on some level that everything is shifting, and yet they are uncertain as to whether this is good or not and how it will affect them. Another group is shaken to the core and on the edges of panic. What if they are found out? And this may even include this fear of seeing themselves. So there's going to be a lot of that as well. So this fear of really seeing who we are, that's in its, if you like, in its own spectrum. So for many of us, it's about recognizing how big we are. It's about recognizing how vast we are. It's about recognizing how multidimensional we are, and then being okay to step into it, to claim it, to be seen, holding it, doing it, being it. Another group, sitting in stillness, knowing that all is well, even if it's not yet clear. I don't know whether I will read that bit or not right now. That's I've written a channel message from Saint Germain about the 7/7 portal. So I may do that tomorrow. Yeah, and then today's writing, what happens? What happens when the pressure from the inside is greater than the pressure from the outside? Because that's what's come today. What happens when your desire to claim yourself, your sovereignty, your freedom exceeds that of the external social pressures, rules, and constraints? You shake, cut, and step out of whatever shackles have bound, imprisoned, or curtailed your rights and your freedom, and you claim yourself. And so I want to make that declaration to you that it's time, if you haven't done that, it's time to do that. And then what happens when this becomes cool or a trend or a movement? Because I am calling this mass consciousness awakening. And I believe that we are very much on the brink of that. So you'll know that Gaia has spoken about this, 30% being awake and aware and conscious, and that's the tipping point. So today I said to her, so where are we at? Where are we at with those percentages? And you have to, I do anyway, I so appreciate Spirit that they give me information which kind of cross-checks with other things, but I can't cross-check it in my brain in that moment. And so this is what Gaia said. She said, we're 80% there. And I said, 80% of what? She said, 80% of the 30%. So then I did the maths on that. And so that, to me, means that we are 24% heading towards the 30%, or Carolyn Creel, who comes on here, she got 33%. So I've done that calculation on 30%. So we're at the 24%, and we are going exponentially, by the way. It's faster, bigger, better, grander. Yeah. I wanted to just remind you, I might just do this as an extra little short video. I haven't done any shorts yet. I haven't got around to getting my head around the how to. I'm sure that it's simple. I just haven't got to it. But I just wanted to remind you about this term that I've been given or that I've made up called the spinal infusion. So this is to do with this light, the lights, the codes, the frequency, this new energy coming into your spine. And so I wrote in here, pain and aches in your spine are likely signifiers as part of this physical ascension as we move from this carbon to crystalline format. So this new light and the higher vibration, it's bringing in these energy and codes, as you know, that are transmorphing your body in preparation for ascension. And it's creating the detox, it's creating the purification, it's creating purging and release, and it's pretty intense on the body. So you might be all over the place with your eating and with your toileting. So it might be affecting queasy stomach, queasy in the belly, queasy in the elimination system. So you might be feeling nauseous, you might have stomach ache, you might have a bit of diarrhea, and you might be wondering, well, what's going on? But it's that deeper clearing. I want to say it's like imagine in your intestinal tract, like when you go and do what's it called? What is it called? A colonic, and they pump water into and up and through your bowel and up into your intestinal and digestive tract, and it's like it washes out all the silly, all the internal walls of those tubes, and that elimination comes out in a bit of a rush because you've got all that extra water in there. But it's that kind of effect that I'm getting that some people might be experiencing. Also rashes, things coming out on the face, and this is all this detox, this purification. So that can be happening on the physical level, that purification, that very strongly on the physical level and in the skin. So you might be feeling itchiness in the skin. You might be having rashes. So for me, I've been definitely feeling that on my arms and on my neck and across the top of my chest here. And then what a lot of us have already done is we've done a lot of our healing, this purification and detoxification on the emotional body, in the emotional field. Hi Dawn, hi Rebecca, hi Billy, hi Carolyn. I haven't read these yet, so I will read those in a moment. But yeah, this idea that, we might be going through all this purification detox in terms of the physical, but a lot of people are going to be hitting the wall with that in terms of their emotional body, their emotional trauma, what's held in the cells that prevents us from becoming our bigger, more expanded, gifted selves. And so this is why I believe, and it's been my experience, tears. So there can be tears to do with release and depression and anxiety and rage, and a lot of that coming up. So people bursting into tears, people feeling out of control, people feeling like their life is out of control. And then this anger. But also I have noticed that I more easily have tears from a loving perspective. Like my heart just keeps opening more and more. But we're going to see a lot of that I think really almost on the streets, So to me, it's interesting thinking about what's going to happen is there's this momentum that builds where people are going to push back. And that's going to be a result of, those things that I was just talking about, that recognition that it's not how I want it, that stuff coming up that I've compressed because no one taught me how to manage my emotions. This is all stuff that we're going to be doing differently in our world. It will be a totally different experience, but it has to come out to be seen and come out to be dealt with. And I want to remind you as well that it all uses a lot of energy, like extreme energy. So you may have been feeling all over the place with your sleep and feeling extreme exhaustion in your body. And that's because of this huge shift, this huge cellular change. And I want to remind you to honor your body because it's going through a lot, and it serves you to honor it and give it what it needs. So if your body is telling you that you need rest, give it rest. If your body is telling you that you need more water, do that. If your body is telling you that you need extra nutrients, do that. Just follow the guidance. You might find that you have days where you wish to fast, and then you might have days where you just kind of eat endlessly. I want to say, don't get too caught up with the weight thing. That the weight might fluctuate as you're meeting the needs of your body, but your body is going to crave foods that link into perhaps a mineral that you've used up in this transmigration, this transmorphing. All right, so let me see here. I think I've said hello. Love the 888, says Rebecca. So many inner children coming up to heal and integrate. Yeah, that's right. And so, that's all related to that solar plexus area, in my view. That's where we get signals about our inner child needing attention is in there. And yeah, that's been in with my clients as well in the last couple of weeks, a lot of that. And Rebecca's saying she's had a huge fear of truly showing her gifts in case she's hunted for who she is and what she can bring. That is a really perfect alignment with that channeling. That it's our time. It's your time, Rebecca. It's your time to really check in with who am I, and why am I here, and what do I need to do to step into that. Because honestly, this is our return. This is our return to this bigger aspect of self, the priests, the priestesses, the gods, the goddesses, these beings who we've been in the past. This is who we are returning to. Deb Boyle just got onto this, doing a cleanse today. Oh my, found out I have a wheat intolerance and dairy. Okay, yeah, so that's a challenge, isn't it? And I want to suggest, and you don't have to do it, but I want to suggest that when we make these dietary changes, that it can be a lot. It can be a lot in terms of money, and it can be a lot in terms of getting your head around it. And so I know that there was a time when I decided that I was going to cut wheat out of my diet, and what I did was I began with looking for the things that I looked at, well, what do I buy that has wheat in it? And then I looked at what I could get instead, and I started replacing those things. So, for example, I don't eat a lot of bread, but I was eating a lot of crackers. So then I swapped over. So I started buying rice crackers, and I started eliminating buying wheat crackers. And now I make my own seed crackers a lot. Well, it'd be good if I made them more often. But anyway, I do that, and I buy seed crackers. And then with dairy, you just look for what do you use, where do you use dairy, and what is it that you can swap out. So now, for example, and I still don't have it right, but I have coconut milk now, and that's not even, that's soy milk with a coconut flavoring additive. And I don't like soy milk, but with the coconut flavoring, I like it. But there's so many things. Like um, one of my sisters, I'd bought this vegan ice cream, and that's the ice cream that I often have in my freezer. And one of my sisters said, "Oh, I've never seen this ice cream," and she was reading what was on the back of it, and I said, "Oh, I don't think I'll be buying that again." It's got all of these little additives and preservatives in it that I hadn't even looked at because I made an assumption that it would be good because it was vegan. Um, Absolutely, it's due to intestines. Okay, brilliant. Yeah, yeah. So you make those incremental changes. Deb's saying she did a huge study on this, and with the energy and changes the body needs are changing. Yes, I love coconut milk and cream. The yogurt is to live for. Yeah, coconut yogurt's pretty divine. Anyway, um, the the other aspect of this is just it's I always remember this German friend of mine saying that when in Germany, what happened when there was all of this, because there's all this nonsense that goes on with things being wrapped in plastic. And she said in Germany, what happened when the supermarkets started, or the whatever they're called. Sorry, I haven't been to Germany. I'm not sure, but the food markets. Um, that people would take their food to the counter, and then they would take all the wrapping off and leave it on the counter for the store to deal with. And so Germans did that, and then guess what happened? They changed it up. And I believe that this is really the power of us as individuals, is as consumers. We might feel like the little people at the end of the chain, but at the end of the day, we are the purchasers. And so as the consumers, we can be the drivers of change by shifting our buying habits, and then that will generate new purchase habits for some of the supermarket chains. And I'm a great believer in, like, I go to the farmers market every Saturday, and that supports the local farmers, and I am getting access to not necessarily a lot of organic, but spray free or organically sprayed. So that's them using neem oil, and I'm not sure what else, but I've been doing that, or going to the farmers market that's further away, where there are more organic products. But we can be the drivers of this change through what it is we choose to purchase or not purchase. Is that it? Let me see. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'll read you the notes on the 7-7, and then what I'm going to do though on the 7-7 is I'm going to do a ritual. I'm going to come online, and we'll do a ritual in the 7-7 portal with Saint Germain. Okay, my last little thing is, yeah, so this is what Saint Germain. So Saint Germain is the Korhan, or the male Korhan, of the seventh ray, and the female of the seventh ray is Lady Nada, who is an aspect, in my view, is one of the aspects, the higher aspect of Mary Magdalene. And so some of these incredibly powerful beings, who are angels, angelics, ascended masters, they have more than one form in their various dimensional spaces, I suppose. So yeah, so Saint Germain is an ascended master who I have worked with probably more or earlier than many of the others. And he honestly, he is really funny. he has this huge sense of humour. And I remember, I don't know if any of you know of Gail Taylor, but Gail Taylor is an incredible spiritual being, and I used to go to her monthly meditations when she held them in the city. And I remember going to this workshop that she ran one weekend, and I'm sitting in the space, and I am guided to open my eyes, and as I open my eyes, I'm looking at the wall that's at the end of the building, and Saint Germain comes in. Saint Germain comes in on a white horse through the back wall, and he came past me and he laughed in my ear, and that's his sense of humour. But this is what he said. I didn't know that, Deb. That's fascinating. I must have met you then, surely. Surely I have. I had dinner at your sister's place when she was up. This is what came through from Saint Germain today. The activation of the codes of alchemical marriage are initiated again to the planet through this portal window. So how about that if you're in a divine counterpart connection? In the body, this may feel, so imagine this, like energetic sparking or popping like popcorn. Some very deep and ancient cellular stirrings reminding you and related to ancient soul experiences, especially aspects of being the magician, the wizard, the witch, the alchemist, the priest, and the priestess. So, yeah, you might want to join me on the evening of the 7th for a little ritual that we will do around that. All right. Parascamus. Yeah, so all of this. Oh well. No, I think I might leave that, and I want to come back and speak about divine counterparts and some of the information in relation to what's happening with that and where we're at with that. So, maybe I'll get an opportunity to do that tomorrow, but I'll leave it here for now. And yeah, I just invite you to be really inner. It's a really good time for us to be going into ourselves, to connecting into our internal self, and to figure out what doesn't belong here anymore, what's not part of who I am now, this new form, this new and higher form of each of us. So it's just things to cut out, cut off, let go, undo, and it's the perfect time for us to do that. So these energies are really assisting with that. And then, of course, the light comes in and it activates from the deep, and then it illuminates so we can look at it and let it go and then bring in the higher. But we are in this very quick time as well. So this time that Gaia has called this exponential, and that is certainly, you'll be feeling it, but it applies to the divine masculine in a massive way. All right. Hello, Fiona. Blessings to you too. Yeah, so keep a lookout tomorrow. I'll try and come on sometime tomorrow and do something about the divine counterpart, the twin flame journey, and where we're at with that in my view. And yeah, so much love to all of you, and thank you so much. And I will see you again soon.